All right, so Bitcoin had its breakout overnight and we broke through the descending trend line, and we had a nice little, about a 7% pump. So what we're saying in the last video is that once we saw this level here, which is our weekly order block, once we saw this level hold and we broke through the resistance point, which was this little block here on the 4 hour, once we broke through and got a top of that and confirmed that as support, right, we were looking for this to basically come through and challenge the descending trend line here. Once we get a close above the other side of that, we take off quite nicely. And yeah, we blew straight through the monthly order block, and now we're confirming that as support, right? So what I'm looking now for the market to do is to basically go sideways for a little bit and then have another pump, right? So key area that I want to see as close above before we get a pump is probably this level through here. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches of this level. It's probably the line of best fit is probably a little bit lower, probably through here, right? So we've had 4 touches on this level, which obviously were resistance each time. So this is obviously a really key area, and bulls are mounting an attack on this, and obviously the bears are mounting their defense right here. But I don't think it's going to hold for very long, just because it's not really that much of a key point in the chart. And I think this is actually the beginning of a much higher time frame move, which we're going to see take off on the daily, the 3-day, and the weekly. And I'll show you that in a second. Right, so what I'm looking for now is for this to go sideways for a little bit and then probably come up to this 10.9 level, and I think this might struggle to break out for a little bit, maybe a little bit of a pullback, and then we finally break through and we move out of the descending triangle. Now moving out of this descending triangle is going to be huge for this consolidation, because we've been going sideways in this consolidation period. If you take it from the top, all the way across to where we are now. We've actually been here for 69 days. So we're pushing on 2.5 months at the moment, right? So once we get a breakout of this level, I think we will see quite a violent move to the upside. And what I really want to see on the weekly is that we get a close above this level here. So obviously, when I was looking to enter into this trade and what I was looking at on the weekly is we're actually still making higher lows in this point here and this point here. We still made higher highs, right? So we're still in an uptrend on our weekly, and basically when we close the weekly and we're still moving up, and we made quite a significant little higher low here, right? I basically entered into a long, as I thought we were going to be quite bullish after that, and we know it really took off, right? So based on the weekly, that helped me to make my decision as to be more bullish, right? So we've always got to be looking back at higher time frames and seeing how the weekly closes, because it is quite important. So what this is telling me is that we're now continuing to move to the upside, and we continue to advance in price, and this is just going to end up being a bull flag. We're going to take out this 11.6k level. Once we get a close above this 11.6k level on the weekly, what I want to see is a really strong move like this, right? And a nice big fat candle close, you know, a little bit of a wick to each side maybe, but you know, we get a nice close at the candle body above this 11.6 consolidation period that we've been getting held down by. So this is a really key resistance level of the weekly order block. So once we get above that weekly order block, I think, you know, the next level really in the chart is this level up here, which is our 13.8k level, which is the next weekly order block. I don't think this one is as strong. This hasn't really been confirmed. Has sort of been touched by this level here, but I think once we take out this level, we'll go very quickly to the 14k level, consolidate a little bit sideways, and then break through. The next level after that is pretty clear on the charts, is 16.2 area, though I don't think that's going to hold. I really do think that the whole structure of the market that we're seeing is this sideways period through here, right, that we're getting pushed down by at the moment. This is the key swing point in the market, and it's really the level where I believe that bears are defending quite aggressively, because if they lose this level, the game, you know, the dream of them pushing the price back down to the 7 and 6k levels is over, and it's going to break out, and we're going to continue on much higher and go back to challenging all-time highs. Right, so that's how I'm seeing the chart, and that would be pretty typical of how Bitcoin actually moves in a market. Right, the other thing as well is we could get rejected by this level here, right? And the descending triangle could hold true, and we could get rejected by here, right? And come back up bounce off here, maybe flip that into resistance again, right, which would make me quite bearish. I'd be looking for shorts at this point, right, and then we'll probably break down through here, and now I'll be looking for these 8.4 and then possibly even a 7.5 level to be getting back into the market or taking profit on my shorts, and then we get a much bigger spring, right? The thing with descending triangles that I think a lot of people in the cryptoverse are missing at the moment is that descending triangles are typically continuation patterns, right? And we've actually been trending up before we moved into this descending triangle, where in our last descending triangle that was quite prominent on the charts back in 2018, we actually came from quite a strong downtrend before we moved into the descending triangle. So you can see that downtrend, descending triangle, and it breaks down. So we continue the downtrend, right? So this is uptrend, descending triangle, right? And what we're looking for is this to break through the descending level. So here, the descending trend line, right? And then we have a breakout of this level and it takes off. These usually resolve by 70% of the pattern, right? Which we're getting to about that level now. So it's going to be getting very close to being 70% of the way through the pattern before it gets to its juncture where it has to make a decision. So it would make sense for this to be the end of the pattern to break out, and we don't have another swing down for, you know, our what would be our fifth. Sorry, what would be our fourth, or really you could sort of say it's almost a fifth touch with this one back here. But yeah, basically 4 main closes down to this level and that bounces out. So the way that I'm typically seeing Bitcoin run in its patterns is that this would break out here, and then we would need to get a weekly close above 11.6. I'll be looking for higher levels up here at about 14k. So that's what I'm looking at the moment for Bitcoin. On Bitcoin dominance, we're just breaking out to the upside here. We had a nice daily close this morning on BTCD, right? So let's go in and take a look on the 4-hour. All right, so Bitcoin dominance here, we're just seeing it's starting to break out now. It's just grinding up higher. This could start to get quite impulsive again soon as we see altcoins start to die off. So I'm seeing that Bitcoin dominance could push in the next rally up if Bitcoin does break out and we start to push back to the levels around 11.6 and even up to 13.8. Again, I can easily see Bitcoin dominance push to 75 to 80% of the market cap. Right, and so that's why I'm actually in a couple of shorts at the moment. So let's go and take a look at those, and I'll show you guys why I'm shorting Litecoin right now. Right, so if we go out to the weekly on Litecoin, you'll actually see that we've broken down on some really key areas. Right, this is the Binance one. Right, so I'll draw these in again so you guys can see. Right, so this level through here, I think is the key level in the chart for Litecoin, and we actually just lost that level. So we had obviously the order block here, one touch here, right? Then we broke through and took off from there, right? This level here obviously tagged again, right? And then we've just blown straight through. It might come back up and retest this, but I just think it's too bearish. I mean, look at the momentum on this thing. It's going deeper. So yeah, now just looking for levels of support. I think there's probably a level through here. Possibly a level through here, right, and through down to this level here, and maybe one here, right? I think these two are a little bit close. Actually already lost this level, so let's just get rid of that one. I think maybe this level here, but I'm not expecting this one to hold. I think it's going deeper, right, just because Bitcoin is so strong. So I'm actually looking for this trade to come down for a nice 25% extra on top of the trade so far, and about 50% all up, right? So once we broke down below this level here, we got a close. I actually shorted that. So I'm about 10% up on this one already. Expecting it to dump down to here, and I'll take some profit off here, which will be about 30%, and then I'll take some profit again when we get down here, which will be about a 55% trade. Right, the next one as well that I'm looking at right now is EOS, because EOS is just looking absolutely woeful as well. Obviously we lost this level through here, which is quite important, and yeah, been looking to get short on EOS ever since. If we go down and we look at our lower time frames, we can actually see that this just went straight into a descending triangle, right? And we're getting more and more continuation. So hasn't been looking good for EOS. one through here. Hasn't really been looking that good, and it looks like we're going to be breaking down to the downside here. Right, so that's our descending triangle. Continuation expected, right, and we're expecting this to dump off. And who knows how deep this is going to go. There's not really that much on the charts for us to look at because it's already getting down so low, but I think we can get our weekly up. This is going to obviously be an area of support and resistance, so I could see this getting a little bit more choppy now that we're getting to this level here, so we're going to have to run tighter stops, but I could see this coming down and bouncing off the bottom of this level here and then taking off from there. Bitcoin just seems to be so strong, so I'm thinking this probably won't hold the top of the chart, but I am seeing that this could be a bit of a level through here. So I'm going to draw that one in, right? I literally just shorted this as it broke down from the descending triangle, so that's about 25%. So I'll have to be a little bit more wary of this one because it does have a key area in the charts on the weekly through here to see if it bounces from this level. If this doesn't hold, literally the next area on the chart is back here. So we will see how this pans out because it's a long way back down, another 66%. I don't think we'll probably get back down to that these sort of low levels here. We'll have to see how it plays out, and we definitely could see some sort of a bounce if alts do get a bit of an alt season and bounce back up to here before it breaks through down to the next level. That would make sense to fill this space, but definitely doesn't have to. That is for sure, but this will be a really strong level of support, level of resistance now that it's been broken after the two touches through there. So that's just a couple of trades I'm looking at the moment. I'm looking to get short on altcoins because Bitcoin dominance is breaking quite cleanly to the upside. And on BTC, obviously it looks like we're going to break out of this consolidation period. The other thing as well that I wanted to show you guys was the pivot, right? So we're actually just pushing in right now to our monthly pivot. So we had a new monthly pivot that just opened on Bitcoin, right? So we can see that one is just here. It's only been open for 3 days now, and we've come up and we've tagged that pivot. So what we want to do, we want to see that flipping into support like this, and we get a bounce off that pivot would be very, very bullish. And then what I'll be looking for is probably a resistance 1, but more likely a resistance 2 targets for this one, right? And of course, it can always run up and tag R3 if we get really parabolic, which would be about 14.5. So yeah, there's the key things. I'm looking at the chart right now. Drop me a line below in the comments. I will write back to the comments if you guys have any questions or anything like that. And yeah, give us a like and give us a subscribe. It helps me get the videos out there. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next video.